Gamers, welcome. In this video, I am going to talk about Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So what is Quidditch? So Quidditch is a sport in the Harry Potter universe. So think about magical soccer, pretty much is about it. And it's really popular, in the Harry Potter universe, and now they actually did a video just focus on that. And I think a lot of players and a lot of fans of Harry Potter really want this for a long time, and it's actually not that bad. So let's talk about graphics. So it don't look that bad, it does the job, although it looks more like a free to play. So there's a lot of little things that you're going to notice, like it has a lot of low resolution in some areas of the game, but not a bad, good looking game. So what about the sound? The sound is actually pretty good, everything sounds alright. I like the music that they choose for this game. I think it feels the Harry Potter universe, so I don't have any problem with the sound or voice acting or music of this game. Now let's talk about the story. If there is a story in this game, kind of. So the premise of the story is pretty simple. You and your team trying to become the Quidditch masters, so the best of the world, and you need to go in cups in a tournament. So pretty fun. There's actually cutscene in the game, so there's a little bit of story. So pretty basic. It will take you like a couple of hours to finish all the cup. They're like tournament based, maybe 3 hours. So yeah, it does the job. It's a game that focuses on the multiplayer. So how do you play this game? Because it's actually, so it plays a little differently, depends how you play it, because you can play it alone and you can play it with people, and it's actually quite different. So there is 6 players in teams, each team. Now if you play it alone, you control all the characters, not at the same time, but you can switch between them, between all the characters. And if you play it online, there's 3 players, and every player controls 2 characters. Now how this works in the story, so you can choose between them, how I say, and in multiplayer you can switch between 2 characters, so the 2 roles that you play it. And there is actually 4 roles. So you got your defender, your job is to protect from the enemy to keep his score, so you need to defend your gate. You got your chaser, so you need to score and steal the cue ball to make points. You got the beater, your job is to knock out players and defend. And you got your seeker, so the seeker trying to find the snitch, and that's your job, try to capture the snitch. So every role actually plays quite differently, and when you play a multiplayer, you switch between them. Now in the case of the seeker, is quite different because you only play the seeker when the snitch is up. Every 3 minutes, something like that, close to that time, the snitch is going to appear, and you can change. It's not mandatory. You have a choice to do it. If not, the NPC is going to do it for you, and I do not recommend it. So yeah, you can switch between them in not online, I'm sorry, in single player. It's quite different because you can change, like I said before, between all of them. So it actually plays pretty good. You can speed up, you can dodge, you can try to take out the enemy, you catch the cool ball and you can pass it. Every role, like I said, plays a little different, so I like that. It's actually really fun game, and they do such a good job to make it feel like you're playing Quidditch, and that's the most compliment. The best compliment is it feels like you're playing this game, and not a really hard game to get into it. Now let's talk about a little bit more in details when it comes how do you play, like the rules. So every time that you throw the cue ball and you make a score, there's 10 points. The first team that do 100 points wins the match. So every time, like I say, you go to the ring, it's 10 points. If you catch the snitch, 30 points. Every time that you catch a snitch. In a regular game, you will have 2 snitch that will appear, so every 3 minutes. Now, if the game can go overtime, that may happen. It may happen that another snitch it will appear if it goes overtime. Now you win overtime by catching the snitch or doing another score. The first thing that do the score are for the overtime wins, and for the most part that's how you're gonna win the overtime. So, and every class is really important. So let's go a little bit in detail, a little bit more. How do you play those roles? So let's start with the basic one, chaser. So what is the primary goal of a chaser? So your main goal is to make score. That is kind of obvious, is to chase the cue ball, to grab it and make a score. You can steal it, so you need to play a little bit of aggressive, because you can knock out people from the broom. That's why you have a health. And when you actually knock out a player, you can use that crash. So let me give you an example. If you're playing a seeker and someone beat you up completely, you can play no more seeker for a couple of seconds. So, and you actually have a little bit of respawn with some cast. Now, as a chaser, your job, like I say, steal the ball and make it points and be mobile, because you really want to when you have the cue ball, to move in a zigzag position, so you don't get beat up or you cue ball steal. So you can actually make passes. So this is really important to make a good pass, because the enemy can just steal the ball if you're not really careful. So be really offensive if you play as chaser. Now, defender. I would say defender is probably the most difficult, at least for me, to play, because you need to defend. Although like I say, you can switch if you want to be a chaser, but the defender will be a NPC, then I don't recommend it. So as a defender, you need both to defend, and how they do this is your camera is kind of face and you move in that position, like freely move like a regular player. So it's kind of hard, at least for me it was really difficult. I would say really stressful role, because it really depends, like you are the keeper, right? So of the game, and if you are better, you do not understand the mechanic, you're just gonna lose, because everyone's going to just keep doing scores because you're not really defending. So, and you actually can kick enemy. If they go too close, you can kick them. And if they try to throw you the iron ball, that's the ball that you use to knock out enemies or opposite team, you actually can reflect that. So you have a little bit of defense and offense. So when it comes to the keeper, it's my least favorite one. Although they make it easy for you to understand it, because you have the rings in the screen, so you can see which way you try to defend, and you actually can see when the enemy is going to aim, because it tells you. So there's a lot of stuff that you make it for for players to understand. It's just not my type of play style. Now let's talk about Beater. Beater is actually a pretty interesting one, because I would say it's more like a support. So you got a bat and you got the iron ball, and your job is to knock out players, especially seekers. So you're going to beat up actually the defender. Is pretty important, because if you knock out the defender or the keeper, how you might call it, it will be much easy to your others to make a score. Now as a beater, you can take interact with the cue ball. You not can do that unless you actually switch to the chaser. But if you already gonna play the beater, your job is just to beat everyone. Like I say, especially seekers, you really want to support your seeker, because you want to help him to catch the snitch, and you should pay attention just to knock out the beater in that case and the seeker. And you're going to notice this is a really low key class, I would say, because not a lot of players is actually appreciated, but you're going to notice if a good beater is in your team, just because how annoying they're going to be. So that's your job, to be annoying to the opposite team. So be annoying. Now let's talk about the last one. It's going to be my personal favorite, and that will be the seeker. So what is your job? Your job as a seeker is to catch the snitch. Like I say, 30 points every time that you catch a snitch, so that means 60 points per game that you can have by catching the snitch. The thing about the snitch, well, in this case the seeker, is more like a carry, because you can win or lose by this. So it's a really, I'll say, straightforward. Is my favorite one. But one thing you're going to see when you play, you need to look the snitch. So when the snitch is up, you don't see the snitch. You need to look for it. Like, it's not going like in the map. You know what I mean? You need to see it. The game is not going to tell you where the snitch is. So you need to look where is it. And when you find it, you need to follow it. Now you're going to see some golden rings. So that will give you speed up, but do not really try to follow the golden rings unless you need stamina, because you need to follow the stage itself. And sometimes you need to make a drift, or you need to go out of your way to find the snitch and keep searching them. And so following the rings is not a big deal. Just try, as long as you have stamina, that will be okay. But you need to be careful about the beater, because the beater is going to attack you, and you actually can reflect the ball. If it's trying to attack you, the same you can dodge. It's up to you. And you need to beat up a little bit of the seeker, because the other seeker is going, the snitch. So you actually can bump the other seeker, and that will take you a little bit more less time to do. So this game is actually pretty chaotic. I really like it. And one other thing is, you see everyone doing this stuff, and that is the most thing that I actually really enjoy it. Like I said before, this game makes you feel that you're playing Quidditch, and I'm just really happy how this game turned out. Now let's talk about the battlefields that you play, the stadiums. They look pretty cool. Now there's no gimmicks. They just typical battlefields. So nothing really crazy. Everyone looks different. Although I was a little surprised that you actually go to different high schools, because you actually go to different high schools. You do not just play in Hogwarts. I was not really expecting that, and I appreciate it actually, to be really honest. So when it comes to the game, how the stage looks, not a big problem for me. I actually really enjoy it. So now let's talk about customization. It's actually not that bad. You can't really customize the character. Now it's not something really that you're going to create your own face. No, but you can customize the hair, the skin, the clothes, that it will represent different houses or school. It really does, a pretty good job. You can actually change the broom, the wand. So it has a quite different, type of customization, and it's actually really fun. Now, you actually can choose heroes. Someone like Harry Potter, Hermione, Ron Weasley. So it's up to you what you really want. Now, the game actually has a skill tree. Now, this is actually pretty cool. Every class is own unique, so they have different types of perks for the class. So there's a lot of things that you need to try out to see which one is the best for you. The same with your broom, although your broom is a little more basic when it comes to the upgrade system, because it's just going to level up, so you can make it like runs more faster or has more defense. But this isn't up to you. This is how they do it. Like, you can change, if you want to make your broom more speed, it's not up to you. It's how the developers want to do it. So, but you can still upgrade the system. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I would say that I would not say it's actually basic. I would say it's there. I think they can do a little bit more of a good job, but it's actually pretty fun to customize. Although I'm pretty sure later you will have more option to do this. So not really a big problem. You upgrade this with Moonstone. Everything here is unlockable by just playing the game. I would say that. Of course, right? You spend $30. So, but everything here is for free. You actually have challenge that you can complete, the same with daily missions. So by playing the game, it will reward you. But there's kind of something that I don't like it. It has a season pass. Yes, it's free, but still the way they trying to put some stuff feels more like a free-to-play game. There is a marketplace, like a store, that you actually can buy stuff with gold coins. Like I say, everything is free, but still, it's just the way they put it. it feels like it was meant to be free to play the game. So I'm wondering if they're going to put microtransaction later in, in the like cycle of the game, because this is not, a free to play game. Costs $30, and that is my biggest problem with this. This game should be free to play and not $30. And I think they may do free to play this game, because like I said, if you play this game, it feels like a free to play. It's not feel like a budget. There's a lot of stuff that I actually not missing. For example, career. So when you done finish, every match, you got medals, like awards. So if you, for example, you score 3 points, they give you awards. But there's no option to see this in the game. You just see it in the last when you done with the match. So, but you can see there's actually a career, like a menu, but there's nothing that it shows. So this game is not done, but they release it like it was, complete. So that's actually, I would say, my biggest problem with the game. And I would recommend it. I would say no. Listen, it's a fun game. I play it for free on the PS Plus, so you have a PS5, you can play it. But at the same time, I need to be a little more realistic. And if it was free, of course, absolutely. But this one, it's not free. So it's kind of, annoying that they have a lot of stuff that represent free to play, style of microtransaction and, other stuff, even that you don't need, to put money, because you don't have to. There's no option. You pay the $30 and that's it. Obviously, the way that they do something. But it's a fun game. If if you really always waiting for Harry Potter, Quidditch type of game, I think this is the game, because I think they do such a good job, to the gameplay. So, but it's up to you. Personally, I would say no, just because the thing I mentioned, but actually a fun game. So hopefully you enjoy my review of Harry Potter Quidditch Championship. So see you in the next one, and thank you for watching. Bless you all.